Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and this is going to be a brief little review of Marvel's Superior Spider-Man, issue number 6, written by Dan the Man Slott, with art primarily by Humberto Ramos, Victor Olazaba, and Edgar Delgado, and formerly credited as letterer, now credited as running joke, Chris Iliopoulos, and I have to wonder why. In the wake of Otto Octavius's having taken the life of a criminal last issue while inhabiting the body of Peter Parker, and thus being for all intents and purposes Spider-Man, we couldn't be further removed from the ramifications of such an act as we open on issue number 6. Mayor J. Jonah Jameson is addressing a crowd of reporters about his plans to make things harder for criminals with super abilities when he's duly interrupted by villains Screwball and Jester. Commandeering the video feed, they pipe their show straight to their face page, YouView, and Titter accounts so as to gain as much traffic as possible, and by extension reap from their viewers personal and banking information. And it's not as if their show's an uninteresting one, as they slap a pie in the face of Jonah and pants him in as long an amount of time as it took to describe it, before making their getaway. Anyone who's tuned into the broadcast is understandably laughing, but it's Ock as Peter who gives a genuine villain-style laugh. He simply can't get enough of it. That is, until before long Jonah calls on Spider-Man himself for assistance. Ock arrives to myriad guns having been drawn, and Jonah, ever the benevolent city leader, yeah right, assures all that he and Spidey are now friends, and to put the weapons away. By the end of their discussion, Ock is left with the pursuit of Screwball and Jester wholly in mind. Now there's a brief little aside that shows us that the Avengers are growing concerned about what the webhead has been up to as of late. Mostly everyone who's watching can see that something is just not right with the hero. But one thing that is right with him is his punctuality, as he's meant to pick up an appointment with Anna Maria Marconi and actually arrives earlier than she does. Being a little person, she is no stranger to ridicule and being the butt of many ill-gotten jokes. This is compounded on her arrival by two dips in the parking lot that can't seem to get over the size of her clown car, as they refer to it. This strikes right at the heart of Otto's ages-old disdain of bullies and tormentors, and Peter, whose soul is caught up in the intricacies of Octavius's mental blatherings, is immediately aware of such experiences Ock faced while growing up. In this instance, a time when an older bully broke his new and expensive glasses, which not only brought about a great fear of his abusive father, but also a great rage against such torments. Anna Maria's intent was to smooth things over with Peter and the Professor Ock was once classmates with, Don the Schnoz Lamaze, which, given Otto's awareness of Lamaze's poor grades in their youth, leads him to have a chip on his shoulder despite wearing the guise of Peter Parker. The meeting is soon interrupted, however, by his spider bots, which have honed in on the location of Screwball and Jester, and Otto, as Peter, excuses himself to Anna Maria's dismay. Both of them know he's going to have to explain his urgent departure, and what's more, Otto actually feels an apology is necessary. So it is perhaps by this thinking that he sees fit to pay back the two mocking dips from the parking lot earlier by demolishing their car and locking them away in the trunk, before webbing off to face Screwball and Jester in a final showdown. One that leaves the two villains broken and bloodied, and the Avengers ready to bring Spidey in. One that leaves Jonah reeling with cheer and Mary Jane troubled out of her mind. And one that leaves the spirit of Peter Parker incredulous and screaming. The opening of this issue lays in contrast to where the last issue left off, and perhaps the best thing I can say about Dan Slott's abilities and how he carries this unfolding saga is the sense of continuity he's able to thread throughout the story no matter where we are in it or what's currently happening. He never misses a beat and continues to solidify to this reader that there is a grand design at work behind the scenes. The art this time out goes back to a slightly more cartoonish style featured in the previous issues, and given the comical yet prankster style of the two villains featured in this one, it's somewhat fitting. It still manages to capture the ridiculousness of their strike against J. Jonah, the adorableness of Anna Maria, and the brutality of Ock's Spidey as he hammers home his hatred of their kind. One page in particular stands wholly out as just being gorgeous, that being the trippy Spidey and Ock's mind scene where Otto's childhood torments are spotlighted. All in all, this issue stands pretty well in the line of them, and the anticipation of seeing the aftermath of Ock's actions as Superior Spider-Man is growing exponentially. And so I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below whether you are as yet or still reading Superior Spider-Man, and if so, what you think of Dan Slott's efforts thus far. And otherwise, that'll be it for me on this one. I hope you're all doing well, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you later. Peace.